All right. So apparently we're waiting for my cousin Sid to show up. But I said I would talk slow because I know some people in the back have to leave right away. So, if you don't know me, I'm Julie. I'm Myles' younger sister. Now, looking around the room, if Myles was here, he'd probably tell some of us that you're dressed way too nice and you want to know where the beer cooler is. And I'm looking at Esther, who actually wore a dress. Like, she brought it. Yay, Esther. So Myles was born in Wetaskiwin in 1960, and I believe he started school in Warburg, and then we moved all the way to Thorsby. Myles is survived by his daughters Michelle, and Kim, who's not here, and Vanessa, and his son Brody. Unfortunately, he was predeceased by his son Colton in 2022. I wrote 24. He also has 9 grandchildren. He also leaves his long-term companion Ellie to mourn his loss. He got his first motorcycle when he was about 12, and for some reason, my mom and my Aunt Agnes thought it would be a good idea to get my cousin Frank Compton and Myles these little mini motorbikes. It probably wasn't. They were both daredevils on them. Of course, the first time he let me drive it, I ran it straight into the side of the stock racks. So that was the last time I got to drive it. He was about 19 when he got his first Harley. He was quite proud of it. And he would park it on the grass in front of the house where anyone driving by down Highway 39 would be able to see it. It was a very sparkly metallic purple, although I realized that sparkly is probably not the correct term for it, but that's what I'm calling it. And I painted my nails sparkly purple today in honor of that bike. In the past few months, there have been times when I wondered why he had to leave so young. But then I think back to some of his incidents, and I wonder how he managed to live so long. He has enough metal and pins in his life to build a new bike. So we are here today, not to mourn a quiet life, but to celebrate a loud, vibrant, and beautifully uncontainable one. At 65 years young, Myles took his final ride into the sunset. On his way to a place that he loved and where his ashes will be spread. And while the silence he leaves behind is heavy, the echo of his laughter and the rumble of his engine will stay with us forever. For Myles, a motorcycle wasn't just a way to get from point A to point B. It was his church, his therapy, it was his ultimate freedom. He loved the smell of asphalt and gasoline, and that perfect unbothered peace that only comes when you're twisting a throttle on an open highway. To him, 65 wasn't an age to slow down. It was just a reminder to enjoy the scenic route. Unfortunately, Myles has had a rough couple of years, and he wasn't able to enjoy riding. But I know he was looking forward to the day that he could get back on the road. But as much as he loved his bike, he loved the people it brought into his life even more. The biker community isn't just a hobby, it's a family. He had many special lifelong friends who I know will miss him dearly. Wayne, Harley, Kermit, Jody, Shannon, Gary, Mental Mark, and many others. There are also friends that have gone before him that I would like to acknowledge. Ramon, Dirty, Ace, Goat, and probably several more that I don't even know about. He had a tough exterior, the leather jackets, the boots, the glare that could stop you in your tracks if you didn't know him. But we all knew the truth. Underneath all that chrome and leather, he had a soft heart. He never met a stranger he couldn't swap a 20-minute story with, or a dog he wouldn't stop and scratch his ears. He taught us all a valuable lesson about how to live. Don't wait for retirement to enjoy your life. Don't leave your bike in the garage waiting for a perfect sunny day. If you want to ride, ride. So let's not remember Myles is gone. Let's picture him exactly where he belongs, on a perfect winding mountain road with the sun on his back, a full tank of gas, and absolutely nowhere he has to be. Let's raise a glass to a man who lived his life wide open with no regrets. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, my friends, until you can all ride together again. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to invite people up to come and share a good memory. Now, my sister had a good one about him throwing a pair of scissors she had food poisoning, so she didn't come. My cousin was telling me a really good one on the phone the other night. I'm hoping she'll come up. No? Okay, well, I'll tell it. So they lived out on Highway 39, a couple miles down here. And Myles and Frank were about 8, 10. And they heard the snowplow. They were outside playing, and they heard the snowplows coming by. And they thought it would be a really great idea to go out and stand on the windrows. And that was not a good idea. Neil said they came back to the house nearly in tears, covered in snow. That was not a great idea. But I'd like to open it up if anybody else would like to come and share a memory. Open mic. Come on. Don't be shy.
I got something.
You got something to say? Okay.
My phone lasts long enough
Okay.
before it goes dead.
Gotta come up here, Wayne, so we can get it on recording.
It's just a text he sent me. Maybe you should.
Okay.
But hurry, because the phone will be dead here pretty soon.
Okay, so this is a text that Myles sent to Chris.
Last one.
Just watch, this is his last text. Just watching this movie called Born Free. It's about these dudes on top of choppers, just chasing the sunrise in no particular direction. Fuck, sure reminds me a lot of our younger days. The only difference is these guys don't spend 8 hours on and end at 6 a.m. on the side of the road trying to rebuild their carburetor after being out for 3 days already. No shoveling tabs of acid in our mouths because we haven't ate that day. Balls to the walls without a care in the world. These dudes actually took their girlfriends with instead of slipping out the back door for a jug of milk and be gone for a month. Best times of my life. Love you, my brother. Hope we can do it again someday before it's too late.
Well done.
Okay, somebody must have a good story to tell.
My name's Hardy.
Take the mic up, Hardy. Yeah. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
When we were, me and I think Al was there too, when we were young. He was probably trying to pick me up and lived about 18 miles from his feet. And he lost step driving his cars back up all the way to reverse. Out to the car, pick me up. And I go up to town, came home right back in reverse. Just the way he lived, he was just a trick right for many years. Missing years.
Shannon, you must have a story. Heard it? Want to say something? No? It's there.
So we're riding up the Sawmill for girls, and we stopped in Cranbrook. A wild night. Well, slippery. He was pretty hungover come morning. His ass was dragging low. We get up and get going, and he was puffing about being so hungover. We went past the Moy Lake Hotel, about 65 miles an hour. And all of a sudden his rear wheel locks up. Holy nuts, I thought, okay, he went there, the dog that bit him. So we're gonna stop for a beer. Well, turns out he had a problem, and bolt came out on his inner primary, locked his rear wheel out. Down he went. So now we're sitting there, and I'm wrenching on his bike. When he went down, the shafts protected him to just below the cheek of his ass. Well, his jeans disappeared in short order. So did one of his hide. So we ended up in the corn roast. He wouldn't change his jeans because he said new jeans rubbed on his ass. So we, about 3 days later, ended up in Kelowna, and our other Hobie had damaged his eye. So we're in the hospital with Hobie and Slip Rock, and he's in there laying on the bed. He tells the story later, but we're watching, listening, sitting in the waiting room, and all of a sudden we heard this blood-curdling scream coming out of Slippery. Yeah, he told us later, he said, yeah, she showed up with this brush. And he said, you're not using that? She said, well, we're going to clean the wound, but I'm going to use this. He flipped it over and showed him the foam side. Yeah. Well, once his head was turned, he wasn't looking. Yeah, she flipped the brush again. I'm sure they heard his scream all the way to Vernon. Yeah, he was having a hard time riding all the way back.
Yeah, I got to tell this little story if I can remember it right. Harley and Myles and I were working on the rigging Cadott Lake, and it was near Christmas time, so we had to go to town for a case of whiskey. And on the way back, we got T-boned by a welding truck, but didn't wreck the truck bad enough where we couldn't still drive, so we got back to the rig and we started drinking whiskey, and it was Christmas Day, and I don't know, the second cook was lipping off about something about the grills, or I don't know what it was, and she comes in the room with fancy dress on Christmas Day, mixing this icing for the cake, and she said, does this look like the right color of icing? And he kicked the clock right out of the pan. There was icing all over the ceiling. So there was a coffee table leg there. I don't know where he got it from, but he ran that tat all around her head there by the wall, and he accidentally hit her with it a little bit. But it ended up the cook got fired for it. That was a big part of the story. It's about a daily occurrence.
Make sure you get a memorial card. There's cards in the basket here. Take a look at the pictures.